Shakuntala Devi's extraordinary calculation abilities were evident from a young age. She performed complex mathematical operations such as extracting the 23rd root of a 201 faster than computers of her era.
The fundamental reason, let me tell you, the fundamental reason why there is a culture or there is a tradition of depending upon a guru for one's spiritual growth is just this. You will dismantle it in such a way that you will dismantle your very life. To dismantle it skillfully, that just the karmic aspect falls off and you exist as a liberated being, that takes lots of skill. It is for that skill that you come to your guru. It is your karma that you have to endure me.
Thank you, Sadhguru. So, following along the previous thoughts that you expressed about the memory, is this the genetic memory that dominates or is the karmic memory that dominates? Because I seem like I have both inputs coming into me. I don't know which one is…
Well, the genetic memory has a certain level of significance till you're 21 years of age. At 21 years of age, something very fundamental changes in the system, that the genetic memory becomes less dominant, it just starts playing minimal role. Many parents are surprised how the children who were so attached to them just some time ago, suddenly they cross 21 years of age, suddenly they cannot relate the same way with their parents simply because their genetic memory becomes at a lowered scale of function once 21 years of age is over. This is nature's way of building up a kind of a safety mechanism for our growth, because a human child doesn't come like other animals. Other animals, 90% of what they should be is already fixed by their genetics. Only 10% of evolution in their lifetime, that too they can either exploit it or not. But with a human being, only 10% is fixed, 90% is left to individual human being. Because of this, the early stage of development for a human child is much more fragile, needs much more atmosphere, needs much more nurture, because 90% has to be created, only 10% is already there as a standard. So, by 21 years of age, your genetic influence would have come down significantly, unless you're very unnaturally attached to your parentage, either because they have too much wealth, or or because they're very dominant, or because you admire them too much, whatever. Otherwise, the genetic influence will come down naturally. So after that, the karmic influence is a much bigger influence than the genetic influence. When we say karmic influence, we should not… because there is this wrong perception that karma means it was only talking about something that comes from elsewhere from another life or whatever. It's not like that. From this morning, from the time you got up to this moment, your body is doing its own physical karma, mind is doing its mental karma, emotion is doing its emotional karma, energy is doing energetic karma. Every moment, in wakefulness and sleep it's happening. But let us take into account only the wakefulness. From the moment you got up till now, how much of these four aspects of karma have you performed consciously? If you look at it, I don't want to ask you the question, I would normally ask, but with you are all doctors, I won't ask you the question, I will just say this, you please analyze this yourself. Not even 1%, way below 1% is what you're conscious of. Everything else is happening unconsciously. Or in other words, instead of using the unconscious word, which is a kind of a negative word, let's say you're happening automatically. You're happening automatically because of the karmic memory. You have so much memory that you don't have to really think. You don't have to think how to eat. See, when the first time as a child, eating was such a big thing, you know, especially Indian food, it was falling all over you. But today, very efficiently you eat, but you don't think exactly how to hold the food, what to do, because this memory has been built up with your karma. Karma means action. These four dimensions of action are always building things up to make life easier for you, not to entangle you. So it's a web of karma that you create. But when you create a web, you must have a certain, you must have some kind of a solvent that you don't get stuck in it. Suppose you are a spider, you create a beautiful, spectacular web. It is for others to get stuck in it, some other insect. But if the spider itself gets entangled in it, that is a stupid spider. So that is what is happening to human beings. An elaborate system of memory is being created every moment. See, you may be sleeping, there are many experiments like this, I won't go into the detail. Even when you are sleeping, you're fast asleep, you don't know. I will speak in a language that you do not know 1 or 10 sentences. Actually, we can hypnotize you after many months or years, we can make you say those sentences in a language that you do not know, you perceived it at a time when you are fast asleep. It is possible to do that. So I am saying if you walk from this place to that place, there may be 25 different kinds of smells. You may not notice it consciously. Only if it's very acute, either it is very bad or very good, you may notice it, otherwise you don't notice it. But in the sensory system, all that is recorded. So without knowing why, without actually mentally or intellectually articulating it, you just don't like to go to certain places. Maybe it's the smell, maybe it's the vision, maybe it's the sounds, maybe it's just the energy there, whatever it is, your 4 dimensions of karma, physical, mental, emotional and energetic karma, is always building an elaborate and spectacular web for you. This web is not to trap you, this web is to make life automatic so that many things you don't have to think, just like that you can do it because it's in your karmic memory. But unfortunately, because people are getting so identified with many things that they do, and they start choosing what is good and what is bad. The moment you say this is good, you will develop certain affinity for it. The moment you say this is bad, you will develop certain aversion for it. Both in affinity and aversion, you will get stuck. Now you built an elaborate web and you got stuck in your own web. This is the fate of karma for most people. Karma is the most dynamic way to exist. It simply literally means you are the maker of your life. For you to be the maker of your life, without your neurological system functioning to your commands, you will never be the maker of your life. You will always be an accidental life. So if you move away from being an accidental life, the people who are experiencing unnecessary levels of anxiety and fear and things on a daily basis, a whole lot of medical professionals are going about saying, these are normal things, you're anxious, it's normal, even I am also anxious. This is not the way to make a human being. A human being is capable of being above this. We are considered as human beings. We did not use the word being for any other creature. We don't call an elephant being, a tiger being, an ant being or something like this. We only called humans as beings because you are capable of being. That means you are capable of conscious existence. That means you are capable of using every faculty that you have the way you want, not in reaction to what happens around you, but by conscious response.
Karma, probably one of the most misunderstood words. For sure, it's become part of the English lexicon today, but misunderstood and misinterpreted in a million different ways. A range of things. The very way the nature of karma is just like that, its interpretations. The karmic structure is a very complex mess. But there are very, very descriptive stories in the Indian culture about the type of jewelry the courtesans used to wear. That is, very famous courtesans were covered in gold and diamonds. No clothes, only jewelry covered their body. Such complex jewelry that when the men who came to them, they had no clue how to take off this jewelry because it was such a complex web of chains. Try as hard as they did, but they cannot get this jewelry off. Jewelry is beautiful, but for a man whose mind is running riot with lust, this is a barrier. So, usually she encourages him to drink and drink, little more and little more, so that he sleeps and gifts her more jewelry and goes home. But when she wants to take it off, there is just one pin normally located at where our anahata is. This one pin, if she pulls, the entire jewelry falls down in one just like that, it falls down. Karma is like this, it's a complex web of chains. Some of them, of course, decorated with diamonds, some are ugly, some are rusted chains, but chains and chains and chains. But there is just one single pin. Only because you are not able to consciously find the pin, the fundamental reason, let me tell you, the fundamental reason why there is a culture or there is a tradition of depending upon a guru for one's spiritual growth is just this, that you want him to pull the plug when the time is ripe. Because in this complex web of chains, you don't know where the pin is. Right now, if you try to find it, you can go on a search forever and not find it. And if you find it, just in case, if you find it, you will dismantle it in such a way that you'll dismantle your very life. To dismantle it skillfully, that just the karmic aspect falls off and you exist as a liberated being, that takes lots of skill. It is for that skill that you come to your guru. It is your karma that you have to endure me. If you had figured it out yourself, you didn't have to bother about me. So, Sadhguru, when are you going to pull my plug? That means you're not ready yet. If you are in a state where you think your karma is a burden and you must get rid of it, you are not yet ready for it. If you come to a state where you have learnt how to transform every memory, conscious and unconscious, pleasant and unpleasant, beautiful and horrendous ones, everything into well-being. If you come to that state, then it'll be good for me to pull the pin. Now if you pull the pin because this is not liberation, this is an escape. There is difference between walking out of this body and committing suicide. They're two different things altogether. Committing suicide means you want to escape a difficult situation. Walking out of this means your term is over, your time is up, so they've released you. These are two different things completely. If you escape from the prison, you will have to run for the rest of your life. But if you're freed from the prison because your term is up, then you're a free man.
When we talk about people with superhuman brain functions, we often refer to individuals with extraordinary cognitive abilities, remarkable memory, or unique neurological traits. Here are a few individuals who are renowned for their exceptional brain functions. Stephen Wiltshire. photographic memory, and artistic talent. Stephen Wiltshire has a rare condition called Savant syndrome, which gives him exceptional abilities in specific areas despite having developmental disorders. Wiltshire's ability to recreate detailed cityscapes from memory has captivated audiences worldwide. His artworks include panoramic drawings of cities like Tokyo, Rome, and New York, often completed after a single brief helicopter ride. Daniel Tammet, mathematical and linguistic savant. Tammet's ability to perform complex calculations and learn languages rapidly is linked to his synesthesia. For Tammet, numbers and words evoke sensory experiences such as colors, shapes, and textures, which helps him process and remember information uniquely. Tammet has written several books including Born on a Blue Day and Thinking in Numbers, where he shares insights into his experiences and cognitive processes. His work offers a valuable perspective on neurodiversity and the potential for extraordinary abilities within the humankind. Jill Price, highly superior autobiographical memory. Price's condition allows her to remember almost every day of her life in precise detail. This ability to recall personal experiences with vivid clarity provides a unique opportunity for researchers to study memory mechanisms and how autobiographical memory works. Price's extraordinary memory has its challenges, as it can lead to being overwhelmed by past events. Her story sheds light on the complexities of memory and how it impacts the identity and emotional well-being. Kim Peek, Savant syndrome and unique brain structure. Peek's brain lacked a corpus callosum, which connects the two hemispheres. This unusual brain structure might have contributed to his extraordinary memory, allowing him to retain vast amounts of information across various subjects, including history, literature, and geography. Shakuntala Devi, the human computer. Shakuntala Devi's extraordinary calculation abilities were evident from a young age. She performed complex mathematical operations such as extracting the 23rd root of a 201 faster than computers of her era. Books and contributions. Shakuntala Devi authored several books on mathematics, puzzles, and astrology, including The World of Homosexuals, which was pioneering work on LGBTQ+ issues in India. Her legacy extends beyond mathematics, as she broke barriers and inspired generations to pursue their interests with passion and dedication. These individuals exemplify the extraordinary potential of the human brain, showcasing abilities that challenge our understanding of cognitive limits. Their stories highlight the diversity of human intelligence and the profound impact that unique neurological traits can have on both personal achievement and broader societal awareness.